Hi, I'm an 87-year-old retiree. Now, I never studied retirement. I just happen to have lived through it for 36 years. I took voluntary redundancy at 59 and am now 87. 28 years in retirement. And it's only recently that I realised how interesting the subject of retirement is to people coming up to retirement. I can hardly say that I planned for it. I expected to work for at least another 6 years when voluntary redundancy offered itself to me, and I jumped at the chance because I really didn't like my job at all. I knew it was undermining my health, and it was a real challenge just to have to go to work every day. That out of the way, I'd like to talk to you about maybe your retirement. One of the things we do miss, I think, is the routine of work. Now, I did shift work for about 25 years, but the last 17 years of it was the usual office droll work. Not 9 to 5 exactly, because I had flexi time. I could start early, leave early, bank time, etc. A lot of people could do that, but the point is, there was a routine. You got up, you prepared to work, you committed to work, you did your work, you talked with colleagues and friends about work, you came home at a certain time. You didn't spend a lot of time in the home, except perhaps in the evening or maybe on the weekends. And on the weekends, invariably you'd go out, you and perhaps the partner, to enjoy life. And you'd be looking forward to your holidays. Now, a lot of people get the impression that retiring is a bit like going on holiday. It certainly is not. Once we have that open-ended, we can't go back to work behind us, it's not a holiday at all. We might enjoy the first couple of months, maybe even longer. And then we think, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do with all this time? And this is where depression can take hold. Because if you don't find some sort of meaning or purpose, something which will grab you in retirement, then you're in trouble. Fortunately, there are plenty of things to do, but you might take some time working them out. And it has to be something that enthuses you, gives you some of the things that perhaps you've lost. You'd have had friends at work, colleagues, acquaintances, people you liked, people you didn't like much. This is life. You go outside and all of a sudden, loneliness. Particularly if you're not married or your wife or husband has died and you're all alone and the relatives live far away and you don't have many close friends close by, it can be very depressing. Very depressing. In fact, studies have been done apparently to show that at this time of life, after retirement, after the novelty has worn off, depression, clinical depression, can set in. We need to be aware of that. And we need to be aware that now in retirement, we have to make a new life for ourselves. The old one is gone. Part 1 of the book is closed. Part 2 of the book, and it could be a long part. You might have lived for 60 years, and you might still have another 30 years ahead of you yet. A lot of people live 30 years after retirement. That is a long time. What are you going to do with it? You have the opportunities now, the freedom to examine your own life and think, what did I really like best? What hobbies did I pursue? What interests? Now I can put myself really into them, learn all about them. With me, well, I got interested in creative writing, writing books, essays, etc., very young in life, in my early 30s. I got into speaking to audiences in my mid-30s. I still do both of these things. But mainly, I worked out a philosophy of life which I could live with. And that philosophy really means it got to appeal to both your physical aspects of yourself, your mental aspects, and of course, your life philosophy, your spiritual or belief aspects. You need to put all of these together to give your life some meaning. And then, using your skills, using what you really like to do, pursue that. And hopefully, if it's something which helps other people, as well as yourself, you're on the road to a long, long, happy retirement.